It's a Monday, and howdy. Hope you survived the weekend. It was a busy weekend with many activities here in the Chillicothe area, but also some cleanup going up on today up in Pickaway County. A lot of flooding that happened from the heavy rains that were experienced, and I have heard that one area had about 3 inches of rain right in Circleville, and it came down big time. Not so much in many other areas. We only had, I think we had 2 showers dating back to Thursday at the Ramey Ranch that totaled 1 inch. So a half inch there, half inch here, that sort of thing.
We had a little bit of rain.
You got some here?
Yeah. I don't have a rain gauge, though, so
gotcha.
Couldn't tell you how much.
You need to invest in a rain gauge. Maybe a wedding gift. I've got an idea.
I don't have a rain gauge on the registry, and I don't know that I care enough to put one on there.
Perhaps you should have thought of that. Well, since you didn't think of it, maybe old Dan will get you a rain gauge.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a look at our forecast for you to see how things are shaping up for us. We do see rain showers expected today, but then clearing for Tuesday through Thursday, and our temperatures will be somewhat comfortable. We'll be in the low to mid 70s for high temperatures, and then later in the week it'll start to get warmer near summer-like conditions yet again. So we'll keep an eye on it. You keep an ear on us. And of course, you can follow along. This is an interactive weather map that you can find on our website, littermedia.com. When you click on it, you can decide where you want to go, anywhere in the world. So if you've got a vacation coming up, you want to see what it's going to be like for the next few days, you can find that right at littermedia.com. Just click on weather. Coming up shortly, we'll talk about what's making news for us as we jump into this work week, and we'll also look at a lot of sports that was held over the weekend. And yes, the Worthingtons and the Muffins duked it out Saturday. Details all just ahead here on Litter Media. Your trusted comfort advisor is Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If you've got an issue with those conditions in your home or your business, or if you're building a new home or business, they can handle that to give you what you need for the right temperature for your heating, cooling, and the dryness that you need for any plumbing you have. AccurateHVAC.com. When you click on this ad, that's where it takes you to learn more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. Their spring sales event continues. You'll find new riding tractors starting as low as $1699.99. New zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99. Also new walk-behinds at $399.99. For your new chainsaws, they'll start at $279.99. New blowers at $199.99. And trimmers starting at $229.99. You'll find them while supplies last at Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. With prices like this, of course, they're not going to last long. And we've been seeing them fly off the shelves. So you will find out more. Stop in at Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the outdoors. All right. You can go to littermedia.com, find a lot of this information. But our lead story today, we do not have up on our website just as yet, unless Mike has done something and I didn't see it. But while the uncertainty of the future for the paper mill efforts continue to help serve the nearly 800 employees with resources necessary to assist through these waters. Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Mike Throne says a new workforce hub was launched today called Scioto Valley Forward, a collaborative effort to tackle the workforce challenges confronting Ross County and Southern Ohio. In a release, Throne says the newly launched online hub, SciotoValleyForward.com, provides everyone in the community with access to essential information and resources during this transformative period. The microsite is really a go-to resource featuring events, job postings, and business incentives, all easily accessible to the public. And in addition, the Workforce Hub has been established in the rear annex of the main branch of the Chillicothe and Ross County Public Library. That is at 140 South Payne Street. The center will be staffed from noon until 4 p.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the foreseeable future. And again, that is going on today, and they'll be opening up at noon today at the library. Now, coming up at noon today here, we'll have this guy joining us. That is Mike Throne. He is the president and CEO of the Chillicothe-Ross Chamber of Commerce. He'll give us more in-depth look at this. Maybe he might have some insight into what the future of the paper mill is. I know they continue to have work sessions with the Ross County commissioners, and there's a number of people that have their hands involved in this to try to make sure we have something ready to go when this plant does eventually cease operations.
Yes. You want me to take the next story?
Yes.
All right. The annual Kenworth Chillicothe Truck Parade is coming this Saturday evening, June 14th, starting at 8:45 p.m. Litter Media will have plenty of video and photos after the event. And what you're seeing right now, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, is last year's truck parade, which you can watch on our YouTube if you'd like to get a taste of what this event is going to be like.
Tom Arnold does a fantastic job of reaching out to truck drivers across America and into Canada as well. And a lot of these trucks are from across the country. You will see some locals in there. I think Clary Trucking is one of the big locals that we normally see. There's some logging trucks we've had come through that are locally based. But a lot of these guys come to us from Minnesota, and I should say guys and gals. We've had the ladies driving in this as well. So if you want to have a good time, and I don't know if the big potato's coming back or not, but you certainly will have a good time seeing all those trucks making their way through Chillicothe downtown. Of course, they'll have a concert at the end of it as well.
And it wouldn't hurt to wear earplugs.
Well, yeah, if you're sensitive and you don't like air horns.
It's very loud.
It will startle you, I guess.
Yeah.
We have yet to discuss how our process will be done with covering the parade this year, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to walk the route like I usually do.
I think you said to me a few weeks ago that you wanted me to do it.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah. So we haven't sat down and plotted it out just as yet, but we'll have cameras there, we'll have things manned, and we'll keep an eye on it for you to share. Ross County Historical Society has got something coming up also this Saturday evening, a presentation about the history of the Ohio Militia in the 19th century, featuring historian and collector Larry Strayer. It's scheduled for 6:30 this coming Saturday at the Ross County Heritage Center on West 5th Street here in Chillicothe. A lot of the roadways that we have, a good number of them were logging routes for the timber industry many moons ago. But like 104 and Route 23, those were used for the militia as they were going north during the preparation for the War of 1812.
Wow.
So a lot of this stuff goes back to the military, and I'm sure they'll bring some of that up this Saturday night.
Very fascinating. The Pump House Center for the Arts just opened its exhibit of the artwork of Carlos Walker and other area artists. Make sure you stop by the show that runs through the end of June.
I don't know if Mike took that picture or if it was something, but somebody got their finger in there.
Yeah, it does look like something Mike would do.
but we're not saying it is for sure. To help meet the demand of Ohio's growing, advancing, and manufacturing industry, Ohio University Lancaster has developed a new specialized semiconductor technician certificate, which will begin training students in the fall of 2025. Semiconductors are the base component for most electronics. They help power advanced technologies in the fields of healthcare, communications, computing, and transportation, among other applications, according to the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Of course, Ohio University Lancaster, just up the road, and many folks are going to our regional campuses and getting a quality education as well. And I tell you, with the plant going in up in the Licking County area, and with all the semiconductors and everything, you need to know some of this stuff. And it'll be a high-paying job, no doubt, once they get all these factories put together to make sure we're making these things here as opposed to across the waters, as it were. Our road report comes to you today with a bridge replacement on State Route 56 in Hocking County. That's between Conrad Road and Blue Creek Road. Traffic will be maintained by temporary signals. The estimated completion on this, if you're heading over to Old Man's Cave and through that area, is November 1st.
That's my birthday.
November 1st is your birthday?
Yes.
Why did that? I need to jot that down again to remind me. Rain gauge and maybe an ice scraper for your birthday.
I have an ice scraper.
You do have an ice?
Yes.
Well, sometimes those things get lost.
I have 2 of them in my car.
Do you?
So
you know that are at least in your car.
Yes.
Okay. Coming up, a recap of the weekend in sports and what's ahead for this week. So we will share that with you. And this date in history is also sports related today. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. If you've got the need for a dumpster, they can help you out. Give a call to 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
Tecumseh opens this weekend, so a lot of folks have been waiting for the new season to show up, and we've got homegrown talent playing Tecumseh this year. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
All right, sports now for you. We start with our high school roundup. A lot of runners and a lot of champions coming out of the Southeast District. The OHSAA State Track and Field All-Ohioans from the weekend include several athletes winning individual titles and more than 24 placed in the top 8 for All-Ohio status. Double state champions included Chase Lipscomb from Fairfield Union in both the boys' D2 110 and 300 hurdles, each in record time. Congratulations. White Oak's Landon Iyer back at it again. He won state titles in both the 1600 and the 3200 run. South Point's Derek Taylor won the Division II shot put and discus. Another double winner was Sophia Solozzi of Athens, a state champ in the D2 1600 and 3200 meter runs. Fairfield Union's Christian Thompson claimed the D2 girls high jump title. Division III boys 800 run was claimed by North Adams' Bo Hessler. The Division III girls pole vault title went to Federal Hocking's Anna Marie Montel with a best mark of 12 foot 4 inches. And Lancaster had a handful of state runners up and champions as well. So if you want to find out more and see some of what we had Carla DePue on stage for in Columbus, keeping an eye on the kids for us. We appreciate that. She did a fantastic job. You'll see a couple of photo albums on our Facebook page at littermedia.com. And if you go to Litter Media X, we've got a lot shared there, including a lot from the OHSAA, where you can see some of the state champions, which includes Wheelersburg in softball again. 5 runs in the first inning. They added from there and en route to a 10-0 win over the defending state champion, Liberty Union, for Berg's 4th state title in school history. Lancaster lost in a 9-inning heartbreaker to Lebanon, 2-0 the final there. Lady Gill's Ashlyn Mowry didn't allow a hit through the first 8 innings, finished with 17 strikeouts until 2 unearned runs lifted Lebanon to that win. By the way, when Taze Valley, my alma mater, won the state championship, they beat Lebanon.
There you go.
Which was the alma mater of my cousin Kathy. We graduated the same year, and back when that happened, I sent her a message. I said, Taze Valley finally beat Lebanon in something. Circleville Tigers had their baseball season come to a close at 22-8. As regional runner-up, they fell to Licking Valley out of VA Memorial Stadium on Friday in what was a bit of a close match, I thought, early on, but then Licking Valley started pulling away. Chillicothe Paints road trip continues tomorrow. Following an off day today, the Paints beat Normal 12-6 on Friday. They had a 7-5 lead before the Saturday game was canceled. They dropped a 9-4 decision to Lafayette last night, but they will be traveling to Champion City to take on the Kings tomorrow night. They're back at it here in Chillicothe on Wednesday. The Reds swept their weekend set with the Arizona Diamondbacks, including a 4-2 win yesterday, so that puts them back at 500 on the season. They will open a set with the Guardians up in Cleveland starting tonight. The Guardians avoided a sweep by the Astros with a 4-2 win yesterday. And the Adina Worthingtons in action. As you see there, the final there. The visitors too much, the hometown team not enough. 4-2 the final. But here's some of the photos we had. There's big Tom De La Flora. There is our behind. Speaking of Brenton Davidson, fantastic as always. There we are, opening ceremonies as we introduced our teams. And Brenton had made a great catch. There was a big swing, and as the ball went flying behind him, you see where those bales of straw are there. That's where he plays. He plays right up against that. And it came flying, and he just, like cat-like reflexes, snagged it with his right hand. We've always said we have one of the best behinds in the business, and that is Brenton Davidson. Next year, we'll do it again, see if maybe we can come away with victory. Had a number of new faces playing for the team this year, and we've got some fresh blood, so to speak. So these guys have had that, how do we say, indoctrination to vintage baseball. They've seen how it's played now, and they've got a year under their belt, so maybe next year we'll put on a better effort.
Yeah. You mentioned fresh blood, but maybe you don't want so much of that next year.
Correct. Yes, we did have a bat came loose from, I'm not going to name the names here, but it wasn't me and it wasn't my son, but it was my son's bat, which in playing vintage baseball, you have special bats. You just can't use a regular baseball bat.
Right.
And so my son purchased this bat a couple of years ago. He bought another one as well, so he was building his stock up, so to speak. But this bat went off the hands of one of our strikers and careened into the crowd. It was a scary moment. The little girl, Layla, she is the daughter of one of our players, one of our new players, mind you, and it bounced off her chest, caught her in the lip. It was a scary moment for all of us. The muffins were, boom, right there. I mean, I've never seen an EMT squad move this quickly.
Yeah.
They were there with a first aid kit. It's just she just kind of broke her lip a little bit, and it scared her probably more than anything. But the muffins signed a baseball for her, and my son said towards the end of the game, "Dad, I'm retiring this bat. Let's autograph it and give her the bat as well." So yeah. Layla is our new, if you pull up the team photo there, she is the one that's standing in the pink dress right there in front. And, well, I guess it's a T-shirt and pink shorts, but she was a super trooper. I will not question her toughness. In fact, my buddy Brenton, he leans over and he says to her, "I know you're tougher than your two brothers." Just trying to kind of cheer her up a little bit, and she just had a smile on her face. So, and that was one of the requirements. Brenton said, "Now, if you're going to be in our team picture, take that bag of ice down so we can, so we can see your smile." And so it all turned out well. And I think she got ice cream later in the day. Ice cream makes everything better, you know? Absolutely. All right, this date in history is just around the corner, so sit close for that. But first, let's tell you about
Litter Quality Propane. There's no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane today about our metered gas service at litterpropane.com.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
A reminder for you, coming up at noon today, we've got a special edition of Litter Media Live with this guy, and that is also one of our Worthington's members, speaking of Mike Throne. And we're not talking baseball. We're talking about this Scioto Valley Forward website, a resource site that was launched earlier today. So we'll have an update from Mike in just a bit. But first, this date in history, we go back to 1973. A special victory at the Belmont Stakes. Secretariat becomes the first horse since Citation back in 1948 to win America's coveted Triple Crown. The Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and this race, the Belmont Stakes. And one of the fastest performances in race history. Secretariat, who was ridden at that time by Ron Turcotte, he completed a 1.5-mile race in 2 minutes and 24 seconds, a dirt track record for that distance. And you can't see it on this illustration we have for you here. We're zoomed in a little too far, I guess, on it, or maybe it didn't scan properly. But the rest of the field is way back, 31 lengths, and the length is the length of the horse. So It finished 32 horses ahead of the field.
Wow.
Incredible.
Well, do you have your paper? I can go get that.
It's sitting on the desk over there.
I'll be right back.
I recall as a young lad, I would have been probably 5th grade, 1973. My brother Jim and I had gone to, I closed it up. It's sitting to the right of yeah, there you go. Don't bonk yourself in the head with that tablet. You'll knock yourself out. Jim took me to National Trail Raceway, and we were watching drag racing throughout the day. And on our way back home, I remember we were going through Lockbourne, and as we strolled our way through Lockbourne in his 1973 Plymouth Fury, there was a radio announcement. ABC Sports came on. I think WNCI is what he had on. So we were probably listening to some Rod Stewart song or whatever, and then they came on with their afternoon sports report from ABC Radio, and they talked about Secretariat winning by a mile.
And there's the other horses?
Yes, they're at the very top as they were making their way. They were just catching up. It was a race for second place.
Yeah.
I mean, Secretariat came around that curve, and it was like, this is incredible. This is unbelievable. And a wonderful call on radio. All right, that's a look for today's edition of Litter Media Live. Earlier today, we visited with Andy Tomlinson from Tomlinson Insurance Agency to talk about their Flag Day event coming up for here in Chillicothe, as well as over in Washington Courthouse at both of the offices for Tomlinson Insurance Agency. You can go to our YouTube channel to see what he shared with us about that. Some free food and some flag exchange.
Yes.
We like that too. So if you've got a worn out flag, you will make sure that you're there Monday, and he will exchange your flag for a new flag as well. So been doing that almost 10 years now. So hats off, as always, to our friends at Tomlinson Insurance Agency. All right, Mike should be back with us tomorrow. For Aaron Glandon, I'm Dan Ramey. Thank you for watching this edition of Litter Media Live.